Welcome back to Ultra Uncovered. I'm Corinne Shalvoy with Russell Ditzworth, and we are live from Leadville. Woo! We are in Leadville, Colorado. If you've been listening along in the last couple weeks, we started with a super pod that was 2.5 hours long. Our entire group from Castle Rock Run Club got together, shared stories, talked about experiences at the Leadville Trail 100, and it was a ton of fun. That led into us really realizing no one was doing a lot of coverage of the race this year. So we decided we would reach out and try to talk with a few of the people that are going to be racing. So using sources unknown, we found a handful of folks that Strava, but that were racing, and we were able to talk with 9 individuals who we previewed, had short pre-race conversations with each of them. They included 4 ladies: Mary Denholm, Maddie Wighart, Nicole Bitter, and Zoe Rome. We had 4 men: David Roach, Reed Burrows, Ryan Sullivan, and Vince Pikowski, and 1 non-binary individual, Mr. Ryan Montgomery. So we were able to connect with all of them. And if you are curious in hearing how they're feeling leading up to Leadville, which is happening in just 2 days from now, feel free to go back and listen to any of those preview episodes. If you enjoyed our coverage, we would really appreciate if you could just share the podcast with others and get the word out that we are here. And so, what are we going to do today? Preview show.
Today, we are going to preview some of the other names that you may or may not have heard of who we were able to find are running the Leadville Trail 100. But before we get into those names, Corinne, I really had a great time with these interviews. I thought we got a lot of personality out of some of the folks and some insights that I think are very interesting upcoming for the race. So is there something that stood out to you or a quote out of some of those interviews? Because there's something that I want to mention that stood out to me.
For sure. I think that each of them had some unique perspectives and really kind of nuggets in their interviews that we captioned and kind of pulled out. Interestingly, Vince Pikowski, who many people may not know, is going to be running the race based on heart rate, yes, which is definitely a unique strategy. Also, I loved that we talked to Zoe Rome, and she talked about really bringing her own stoke to the race and figuring out how to fire herself up in all of the down moments, and kind of that being and I think that, I'm excited to see Mary Denholm take on her first 100, and she was so excited to be doing something that she has never done before, even though she's been running since she was 13 years old. So all of those things were definitely storylines. But as we dug in, we also have so many more kind of exciting, people of interest and stories that we just want to talk on a little bit. What did you take from the interviews?
Again, some of the same things, but also another general theme. Loved hearing about people wanting to shoot their shot. You've got like David Roach, you've got Ryan Sullivan out there looking to put it all out there and put it on the line. And I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow. At the end of the podcast, I'd love for us to both talk about where we're going to be on course on Saturday. And so if you're listening and then you're going to be out there, feel free to come up to us. We'd love to hear from you. And we'd love to see you cheer on some of the folks that we're going to talk about here today.
Yeah, this is probably going to come out day before, Friday, the day before the race. We may or may not get a quick, short weather report.
Weather forecast?
Weather forecast from Graham, the weatherman, who wanted to be a meteorologist when he was younger. So it's looking pretty warm right now, but not crazy, and so we may have the weather forecast to come at the very end of the pod if we can work it out.
Sounds great.
And then you're drinking something.
Yeah, before we get into the names, I am going to be drinking a Hoplark Hop Sour.
Ooh, Hop Sour.
This one is dry hopped with Simcoe Strata hops. I've had it before. It's very nice. I love the sour beer, and this one is one of my favorite Hoplark 0.0s.
So what's the hop level on
medium hoppiness? So not like IPA type hoppiness.
Yes. Yep.
It's got kind of a medium hoppiness and a little bit of a fruit, soury fruit flavor to it.
Can I try it before you?
You can.
Okay.
It's a little bit purple, even like the foam. You can kind of see the foam is even a little bit purple.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I like that. That tastes like it's got definitely some like probiotics of some sort in there. There's some stuff in there.
What do
Okay.
you got?
I have multiple drinks because when you are at 10,000 feet, you need to drink a lot. And so I have a lovely recovery shake from it's Scratch Horchata. And then I've got a bubbly prebiotic soda called Myowell. It's pineapple mango with turmeric. And I got it on sale at TJ Maxx. But I couldn't resist.
Agave from Mexico.
Agave, original or organic agave from Mexico. So yeah, we'll see how that is. And then I have a Sprite cherry lime just in case.
You've got all three. You've got your bases covered.
Yeah, definitely. All right, cool. So we are going to dive into, do you want to start with the men or the women?
Let's start with some women, and then we'll finish up with some of the men. So
okay.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on a name we picked out here, Elsa McDonald.
Elsa McDonald, 40 years old, or 44 Masters athlete, has been crushing ultras for a very long time. Based in Canada, she runs a lot of Arizona races. I'm not sure if she spends some time down there, lives down there part of the year, but I mean, she's just a baller. She just like
Absolutely.
Everything that she runs, she's podium, she's up in the front. Some recent results, she went out super hot at the Gorge 100K this year, was leading for more than half the race, I believe. She did get caught by I believe Lottie Brinks at the end of that race, or with, she had some fading, but man, she went for it. She ended up second. I also saw her. I ran a little bit with her when I ran this race in 2021. So she's been at Leadville before. And super strong. I remember us talking about, she'd been with Solomon for 10 years at that point. She was like going through all the different athlete managers at Solomon and just kind of a consummate pro. So yeah, really excited to see her out there again. And she's been, as recently as 2022.
Second at Western States in 2022, and then she got into this race by taking second place at the Leadville Trail Marathon earlier this year, running a really good time, 4:26, second to Mary Denholm, and picked up her coin as a podium finisher there. So really excited to see what she can do.
Yes, me too. What do you know about Chelsea Factor?
So Chelsea, I came across on Strava, friends with another runner, Allison Baca, that I saw online, and looked up Chelsea. Allison had wished her good luck running the Leadville Trail 100, so I sleuthed down a little bit further. Ultra sign up shows, typed it in. Shows she was fourth at Silver Rush very recently, and also has run under 8 hours at the Never Summer 60K, which I know to be a very good time in that spot. A friend of ours just finished in the top 5, right around 8 hours as well. So I'm excited to see what she can do out here. Yeah, for sure. Chelsea Factor.
We also came across Caitlyn McDaniel. She is going to be running, I believe, being crewed by and possibly paced by Hannah Allgood. I saw her for the first time out at Gorge Waterfalls. This was a couple years ago. Gorge Waterfalls, 50K. I believe she came in second at that race, nice. Which, a lot of people had not heard her name before, and I believe she was second to Meg Morgan at that race. So really excited to see what she's going to do. I believe it's her first 100-miler. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that she and Hannah may be friends from basketball, played basketball together. So
awesome.
So excited to see her racing, and it'll be a cool thing to follow along with her day.
All right. Good luck, Caitlin. Next name I had was Becky Lynn Bauer. Becky is taking on the lead challenge this year. And so
what is the lead challenge?
The lead challenge is taking on all of the races for the summer series in Leadville. So for the run, if you are going to do the lead challenge, you have to do the Leadville Trail Marathon. Then you can pick between the Silver Rush 50-mile run or the Silver Rush 50-mile bike ride. Then you've got to do the 100-mile mountain bike. I don't know whether you have to do the 10K or not.
I think you do.
You have to do the 10K.
I think you have to do the 10K because Rob ran it.
Rob ran the 10K, you're right. And then you finish up with the 100-mile run, and it is the Lead Challenge.
Yes.
So big congrats to her. She's got her last piece of the leg, the 100-mile run. But looking at some of her results, she has went back-to-back at Western States and finished as high as 19th in 2023 at Western States.
She got in by getting picked in the lottery on site the last time she
ran.
Amazing. I remember seeing a video. Yeah.
What an amazing experience to be picked live in the auditorium and be able to take your entry there. She's also experienced in the ultra distance as a finisher of Cocodona from 2021. Top 10 finish there as well.
Yeah, and I think I met Becky, and she had the previous year done Cocodona, and she had a brand new tattoo of like the Cocodona. I think it even may have said Cocodona 250. It's like, I think it was like the actual like
nice
logo.
Oh, awesome!
Pretty cool on her arm. So she is all in. She is very excited. And there's another individual who is doing the Lead Challenge. That is Junko.
Okay.
And I just call her Junko because her last name's very hard.
Hard to pronounce.
Kind of hard to pronounce. I'm going to find it here so that I can try to make sure that I get it correct. I found it. It is Junko Kazuko.
Okay.
And Junko is also a very experienced ultra runner. I believe has finished Hard Rock. And this may actually be her 10th Leadville.
Okay. And what's special about a 10th Leadville?
You get 1,000 miles, similar to a Western States. You get 1,000 miles.
You do get 1,000, a special buckle.
Yeah.
Any finish does not have to be. It just has to be under the 30 hours, and you get a.
Do you know if it has to be consecutive years or not?
Because does not have to be consecutive.
Okay, just 10 total finishes all time. Okay, that's cool. I like that. Awesome. Who else? We have
the last name for the women that we have on here that I picked out was Rachel Brewer. So Rachel, I actually met Rachel on course at Silver Rush 50 in 2022. She was running super strong at the time, and I believe ran the Leadville Trail 100 last year. She's in again this year. She placed second at the San Diego 100. And she was 6th place in the Leadville Trail 100 in 2022. So again, she's got some great results, some top 10s. She's a local crusher, but maybe a name you have never heard of.
A 4th place finish at Run Rabbit Run as well in 21.
Yeah. 21 Run Rabbit Run in my chicken scratch handwriting here.
Nice. So additional ladies to keep an eye out for: Elsa McDonald, Chelsea Factor, Caitlyn McDaniel, Becky Lynn Bauer, Rachel Brewer, and Junko. If there's others, let us know if you listen in time. Otherwise, I guess we'll find out on Saturday.
That's right.
Who else is out there?
Let's move on to the guys.
Okay. So a couple of men returning. We have a bit of a legend with quite the story in our sport. Mr. Dave Macky is going to be lining up.
For those that don't know, Dave had an accident in Boulder and ultimately lost his leg, and he competes with a prosthetic. And let me tell you, the guy absolutely still crushes the uphills. I don't think he probably takes the downhills in the same way, just the way that his body moves, but he is still very much the uphill runner. Saw him at the Leadville Trail Marathon this year. And he was able to take a coin, and he's in for the 100. So I'm excited to see him out there.
Is he in a above knee or below knee?
Below the knee.
Below knee amputee. So he runs on a blade?
He runs on a blade.
Cool. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Was it a biking or bouldering accident? Or
it was a running accident.
Was it? Okay.
And it was a rock that he had probably the story goes that he had stepped on this rock thousands of times on the top of a peak, and this time it dislodged and basically crushed the bottom of his leg. Very, very scary situation, and had multiple surgeries before ultimately amputating.
Wow, that's wild, but good for him to be out there still. We have a little bit of infamous the Ultra House in Durango, Colorado. If you know of that, one of the individuals who lives there, if not the owner of the house, is Anthony Kungle. He is racing. Leadville 100 this year. Anthony, I think, is known for doing some kind of extreme things with training and just experimentation. N of 1, let's try infrared and crazy, heat adaptations and just all kinds of really interesting, like definitely he's his own guinea pig when it comes to some of the, ways to enhance performance.
A very fit person and a very experienced ultra runner. One of the things that I noticed about Anthony's ultra sign up is that he's got a lot of road 100K, like a sub 7 hour road 100K. He's got like some of these like Black Canyon top fives. So he's got some of these runnable ultras, but now he lives in Durango. Some of the more recent races that he's done is Silverton Alpine 50K or Silverton Alpine Marathon. So I'm excited to see what this like mountain focus now mixed with like obviously a skill and a talent with road running does on a course like Leadville.
Yeah, for sure. And Durango, I'm trying to remember if Durango's higher than Uray or not, altitude wise. Might be around the same, 6,000-7,000 feet. Anyways,
something like that.
He's probably somewhat acclimated to the altitude as well. I don't know. There might be this one chick out there, this one female ultra runner named.
But hey, let's highlight who's running the race this time.
Okay, Courtney Walter is going to be crewing. Her husband, Kevin Schmidt, is going to be racing Leadville this year, and the tables have turned. I don't know. He probably still created his own spreadsheet, but just gave it to Courtney.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, Kevin is no slouch in running himself. He ran the Swiss Alps 100-miler last year before Courtney ran UTMB. I think he ran that step for step with Ryan Thrower. They're great friends. It'll be really cool to see Kevin out here in their hometown on their hometown race and being supported and likely being paced by Courtney.
So if you see Courtney, cheer for Kevin too.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Cheer hard for Kevin. Excited to see him lining up. Someone who has won this race is returning.
Yeah, we weren't able to interview the returning champion, but we got to mention him here. JP Giblin is the returning champion for the Leadville Trail 100. Ran a great race last year, was not leading for much of the first half, and actually said that he was feeling pretty terrible. He was running with Rob Craa, like thinking like, oh man, I don't know if it's going to be my day in the first 20 or 30 miles. And I saw him. I did run the race last year. I saw him coming back down in first place. So by the time he got back up to Hope Pass, which is where I saw him, literally 10 miles ahead of me at that point, he was in first place ahead of Scott Traer. So, excited to see what he can do here. He's run Leadville multiple times. He's chased golden tickets and been successful in obtaining a golden ticket for Western States. An ultra athlete and just an all-around talent in our sport. And so excited to see what he can do here. He did comment, as a returning champion, there was one reason for him to come back, and I do think that he is going to be chasing the course record.
He and many other men in this field going after the course record,
including the next.
Yes, we didn't ask Mary Denholm if she was going after the course record or not. I'm kind of bummed we didn't ask her that question because I feel like
it's Ann Trayson's record.
It's Ann Trayson's record, and I don't know. She may have her eyes on that. I wouldn't be surprised. So yes, Jacob Escriba.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Adrian McDonald is
That's who I was alluding to.
Yes, you were alluding to Adrian
McDonald is a 2-time champion of this race. And he's got kind of a track and field and road background, but he's really leaned into the ultra and trail scene. He's an on athlete, and a Fort Collins guy. But really, if you look at his results, I mean, Leadville is the one that really stands out. And honestly, the times are so consistent. 16 hours low both times. So for his first 100, ran like 16:0 something. Did the same thing the following year. He was a back-to-back champion. And so after skipping 2023, he's back in 2024. And I absolutely expect him to be out front. He, in my mind, JP and Adrian are the two, kind of the leaders in the clubhouse in terms of who I would expect to be at the front of this race.
Okay, we have a couple more names.
Yes.
Yes.
Now we can go to Jacob.
Jacob Craa is racing as well, and he won. He won the marathon.
He did win the marathon
this year.
Yep,
getting his coin and entry. That's solid. That's
very solid.
That is not easy to do. That marathon usually brings some fasties that may or may not be interested in running the 100. So that's an impressive. And yeah, what else do we know about Jacob?
Well, just back to the Leadville Trail Marathon, there's almost always a good contingent there. Moy Jimenez was running there and got second. Boulder Boy Moy. And so, Jacob had a great race and, has been, fairly modest, but it's just like he's got the talent out there as well. So I fully expect him to put a good day together. Excited to see what he can do.
That's awesome. And then another 1,000-mile buckle chaser.
Yes.
On the men's side, Marvin Sandal.
Yes.
And Marvin Sandal has a legacy with the Leadville 100 of starting out in his
2011.
Her first time was 2011. He ran a 29:41. So missed the cut. He was only under cutoff by 20 minutes in 2021.
2011.
Sorry, 2011. Yep. 2011, his first one. He has since progressed and run an 1850. From 29:40 to 1850 over the course of 10, 11 years here, and ended up 5th place at one point, and his highest result, a 5th place finish, when he had to be in the very, very back of the pack when he ran 29:41.
Super consistent runner. Very, very cool. Just like on rhythm. You may pass him, and a lot of people may pass him on the boulevard on the way out, and he will just eat them up a lot in the second half. One fun fact, he is bib number 1,000 for this race.
And there's not 1,000 runners in it, so they gave him bib 1,000.
There's almost 1,000.
Okay.
I saw up to 973 in the
That's
thing,
a lot of racers. I wonder if Junko has a special bib or if she requested one. Maybe he requested the 1,000. That'd be cool. Maybe. And then we had one more we were going to mention, someone who people should probably also keep an eye on.
Yes.
His name is Patrick Cade.
Patrick Cade is a recent Masters runner now. I think he just turned 40, but he has run the year. This will be his 4th Leadville, and he's run the 3 previous consecutive Leadvilles. And if he continues on this trend, he may be in for a top 10 finish, because in 2021, he finished just under 24 hours, 23 and change. 2022, he had a 2-hour improvement and finished in 21 hours. In 2023, another 2-hour improvement and finished in 19:30 for, I think, a 5th place last year. So Patrick Cade, Masters athlete now.
Just getting better and better.
If he has another 2-hour improvement, I don't know. He'll be right up there with a podium.
I think so, for sure.
And I do think the last name that we didn't write down that we cannot fail to mention, Rob Cra's in this race.
Rob Craa is in this race. We did not write him down just because we just knew we were going to talk about him.
Y'all know Rob's resume. We don't need to go into that, but it is cool to see an ultra running legend out here.
And some would argue that he has maybe run the fastest time on this course if you consider the changes of the course, because he did run just 8 minutes off of Matt Carpenter's record back in 2021.
Yeah.
We also wanted to just quickly mention someone from our run club, Todd Dill, who is a Masters athlete as well, competing for his 3rd time. And, I think people should pay attention to Todd. Todd has been, he's run sub 20 hours on this course. He knows it well. He's smart athlete. And he's got all the stoke of Castle Rock Run Club behind him.
I've got a lot of jobs on Saturday, for Castle Rock Run Club, but my number one job ahead of all else is pacing Todd from Twin Lakes to Outward Bound. So, if I'm focusing on that piece and getting a little bit of rest, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be cheering everybody on, but that is by far my number one job.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Sweet. Shout out to the other CRC members who are racing.
Yes.
We've got Hagen McHenry. We've got Dave Leung, and we have Brad Davis all showing up. So they're going to go 4 for 4.
We've got the quartet of the Castle Rock Run Club. This is the official Castle Rock Run Club Leadville or Moretrace versus Leadville
Yep, sure.
shirt. It's a very bright and unique blue. So if you see folks out there in this, we are from the Castle Rock Run Club. We'll be cheering everybody on at Outward Bound. We'll be cheering everybody on at Twin Lakes. Come by and say hi.
Yep. For sure. All right. So prediction wise, I don't know. I didn't want to personally like pick a top 3 for this race. I feel like I know too many of these people and I'm too invested in some of them to say, I think this is how it's going to go. But I thought it would be fun for us to say our thoughts on what we think maybe the winning times are going to be for men and women. So starting with the men, what time do you think is going to win in 2024?
Okay, so last year's winning time, JP, was maybe high 16s or low 17s, something like that. And then the 2 years before that were Adrian McDonald, 1609 and 16 low, something like that. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that the winning time is going to break 16 hours, but I think it's going to be very high. I'm going to go 15:55.
Okay. And course record again, remind me,
42,
40,
46,
40.
Something like that.
Okay. I don't know. I think there's enough. I don't know.
There's enough momentum.
I think
this year.
I think there might be enough momentum that I don't know. Maybe it'll be like Heartbreak City, and somebody will be like 2 minutes off.
Okay. So what's your?
What's actual course record again? Do we have to find it?
We may have to look it up.
Okay.
Are you going to guess a minute under the course record?
I'm going to say 3 minutes under the course record.
Okay. All right. We'll get the actual time. Put it in the notes.
That's my guess.
Okay. What about the women?
So Ann Trayson's course record is 18 something. We should know these things. We should have had these written down. We will find them. But I think that here's what I think is going to happen. I think that the top 10 women are all going to run under 24 hours.
Okay. I like that.
Because I think that we're seeing this. I think we're seeing the number of athletes that can, run fairly fast times on these, like just increasing on the female side. And so I think it's going to be like a tighter pack, 1 through 10. And, I think I'm going to say maybe like 1930 wins this year on the women's side. Okay.
I like that. And a tighter pack, all under 24. Jackie Manhart won last year in like 21 something.
Mm-hmm. I think it might be faster this year.
Okay.
Just with who's in the field.
Yeah. I could see that. I'm just gonna go 1945. That's gonna be my guess. Just because selfishly I would love to see Mary out front and maybe be able to run. Maybe she's next to Todd for some of it.
That'd be cool.
So that'd be great.
Cool. All right. And then what do we think about finisher race? So there's a lot of people that run Leadville. Again, 500-600 on each, men's and women's side. So upwards of 1,000 people running the race. Last year's finisher rate, and last year was a pretty warm year.
Last year's finisher rate was 36. There's, I think, about 350 finishers.
I mean, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's a very low finish rate.
It's very aggressive and it's not necessarily people's faults. Like it's very aggressive from a cutoff standpoint, all the way to Twin Lakes coming back to Leadville. If you make it to mile 62 and you get through the cutoff, then the cutoffs relax quite a bit. But it's aggressive ahead of that. And there's cutoffs early in the race. So it gets people that, maybe aren't prepared for the heat or whatnot, but it is a notoriously low finish rate. 36% was last year. So are you going to guess a percentage?
Let's guess a percentage. Like, okay. I'm going to guess a percentage, but I think also too, like, it'd be curious to hear how many of those missed cutoffs and how many actually dropped out, because I would imagine
it's two things in my mind.
They're different things. Yeah. And that could just kind of speak to, like, I don't know, should that many people be let in to run Leadville in the first place? Should the cutoffs be modified? Like, how do we set people up for success?
It's one of the races that, if they can do it safely and they can They can have this field size. It gives people an opportunity who want to try it, who want to go for it all the way. They don't want to go get a qualifier for this and then go sign up for this lottery and then 2 years later maybe run the race. They can just sign up, nothing else, and try it for the Leadville Trail 100. I think there's something unique about that.
There is, for sure.
So I don't mind it, and Leadville Race Series has proven that they can do this safely and that they can do it sustainably, and the trails look nice afterwards and they're cleaned up, and so I'm all for it. I love the big atmosphere. I love everyone coming in on 6th Street as we start, and it's a big group of headlamps. So
yeah, it's got to be one of the biggest 100-milers in the U.S.
Yep.
It has, and you see massive start lines in Europe, and so I guess if permitting allows for us to do it, then it does make for a cool environment. Okay, we need to just mention that Ann Trayson's record is 18:06.
18:06. Okay.
18:06. That
very
is
good time.
One faster.
Okay. Do you have Matt's?
Claire finished within an hour of her time when she won, Claire Gallagher.
Okay.
So under 19:06. So I think 19 hours would be extreme.
Are you going to revise yours, or are you still 19:30?
I'm going to go 19:30.
Okay. I'm going to say 19:45.
Okay, I'm going to go 19:30. Matt's, well, I have his then course record, so I'll find the other one. But I think finisher rate this year, from what I know about the weather, and you may know soon based on Graham's weather forecast.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a bit higher. I think people are taking seriously. I'm going to go 45%.
45%. I'm going to go just breaking 40%, which would still be higher than the average. Maybe about 400 finishers, something like that. And I'll be rooting for them all.
Yes, absolutely. 30 hours to do this race is not a lot of time. It's just not. This is not an easy race. Matt Carpenter, 15:42.
15:42.
Right.
Okay. So you're guessing 15:39?
No, I think that they're going to miss it.
They're going to miss it by 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 15:45.
Okay.
15:55.
15:45.
Yeah. So
right.
I'm sure. Yeah. Tell us if we're completely wrong and off base, and why or why not. And yeah, hope we see you out there. Leadville's going to be amazing this year, as it is always. And who knows, at this rate, with all the podcasts we're doing, maybe we'll have a recap show.
All right. Cheers.
This is Graham the Weatherman with Castle Rock Run Club Weather, brought to you, as always, by Castle Rock Run Club Weather. We have a race going on this weekend in Leadville, Colorado. We'll call it Lead Vegas for the rest of this. We are going to have warm temperatures for Saturday. It'll be cold to start as usual, probably about 40, maybe even upper 30s. And then as the day progresses, we'll see it get warmer and warmer and warmer. Now, just like last year, we probably will not have a lot of cloud cover, so it'll be full sun all day and it'll really get toasty after the Twin Lakes aid station on Hope Pass. So if you are treating this race like Western States and doing full ice, you're doing it right. If you're not, you're doing it wrong. This is Graham Shalvoy from Castle Rock Run Club Weather, brought to you by Castle Rock Run Club Weather.